And the Lord has sworn and will not relent. And you are a priest, a Cohen, forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. I mean, this is Yeshua, and this is the Father's declaration. He is declaring to his Son, you are a priest forever. Powerful, powerful concept. Notice that Yeshua would not be a priest according to the order of Aaron. This is a different order. And when you understand the characteristics, as I mentioned before, of Melchizedek, this makes perfect sense. Characteristics which says he was without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life. Neither beginning days or end of life. This is absolutely, Yeshua is eternal in nature. He existed before the world was ever created. And guess what? He will never die. He will never die. He's eternal in nature. Yes, he died as the Pesach lamb. But one thing that you'll notice is that this is very contrary to the Aaronic order. In the Aaronic order, you will have priests generation after generation. What happens? They stop serving because they die. Not so with this order. Therefore, if perfection were through the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law. Now remember, the priesthood, the Aaronic priesthood that was instituted by God himself, it was the nervous system, it was the central, it was core to the covenant. See, because it wasn't that they just offered incense in the morning and at night and tended the lamps. It was way more than that. They kept Israel in relationship with God. They actually communicated God's character, his thoughts, his dislikes, his will to the people, because they were teachers of Torah. And that is a vital piece here. And so when he says that if perfection were through the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the Torah, okay, what further need was there that another priest should rise according to the order of Melchizedek and not according to the order of Aaron? Now, I alluded to this before. The writer is brilliant. See, this is a complete setup. He's ready to deliver something very profound, very controversial. It's the nuclear bomb, if you will, of controversy. And he knows what he is about to drop. So what he does is brilliant. He is provoking his audience to thought. If perfection were through the Levitical priesthood, then why does Scripture later on talk about the order according to Melchizedek? A priesthood, another priesthood. It's a rhetorical question. In other words, he's drawing these dots, he's connecting the dots for saying and telling us you wouldn't. If perfection were through the Levitical priesthood, you wouldn't talk about another priesthood. For the priesthood being changed of necessity, there's also a change of the law. You feel the weight of that statement? Game changer. This is a game changer. The priesthood has been changed. Let's put this into the historical context for a second. Number one, the book of Hebrews was written before the destruction of the temple. That's very important. Scholars across the board agree on this. And they debate about how much before, sometimes 10 years, sometimes more. But it was written before the destruction of the temple. What does that mean? It means the Aaronic order, the priests were serving in the temple. That's very important. So put yourself in Paul's shoes for a second. Imagine him running around Jerusalem, telling his Jewish brethren, hey, I got some amazing news. I thought you guys might like to know this. Yeah, the priesthood's been changed. Yeah, oh yeah, behind me, I understand. The priests that are actually literally serving in the temple, that are singing praises to the Lord, that are offering the sacrifices literally as the writer is writing this. Oh yeah, that priesthood has been changed. Oh, and get this is good. The law has been changed. Best case scenario, the response of the audience that listened to these words was, what? What are you talking about? They would be filled with intrigue. They would assail him with question after question. That is the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you'd be deemed a heretic. Worst case scenario, you would be deemed an enemy of Israel, speaking against God's holy word. Do you know that this statement is causing controversy today? Not so much among Christendom per se, which is ironic and beautiful at the same time, but more so as you get into, you jump the tracks to the Hebrew root side. As you jump the tracks to the Hebrew root side, they struggle. Some of them are really struggling with this passage. And they see themselves as defenders of Torah, and I stand with them in that regard. And I've mentioned that before. I appreciate my brothers that want to defend the Torah, but I will never do so at the expense of truth. They struggle with this so much to know that the Torah cannot be changed. And their mind that some teachers have risen up and actually said the writer of Hebrews does not know what he's talking about. One that is more common, though, is a little more crafty. And that is, well, we misunderstand what the writer of Hebrews is saying. He's actually talking about two independent priesthoods that exist independently from one another. And Christ, Yeshua, is in heaven, and he is the priest in the heavenly realm. But as long as we're here on earth and with everybody here on earth, the Aaronic order stands. It doesn't go anywhere. They will take you to Matthew 5:17. Do not think that I came to destroy the Torah and the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For surely I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled. Therefore, you are misreading Hebrews 7:12. And then they will take you to the Torah and remind you in Deuteronomy 4:2, you shall not add to the word which I command you, nor take from it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. How could anyone in their right mind say the Aaronic priesthood is in fact changed? That's the very definition of adding and taking away. What do we do with this? Well, before I answer that question, I think it's important to point out what the writer of Hebrews didn't say. And I say this on behalf of Christendom. Going back to Hebrews 7:12, the priesthood being changed of necessity, there is also a change of the Torah. Now let me be very clear on something. Nowhere do we find that the Torah is done away with. Now keep in mind, Hebrews is written post-resurrection. The gospel of Yeshua is going out. You just read the book of Hebrews, you see this. It's written post-resurrection. Nowhere will you find anywhere that he says the law's been done away with. It's been made null and void. What he says is that there's been a change to the law. To which the naysayers come on and say, you can't say that. You can't say that. You shall not add to the word which I command you, nor take from it. It prohibits you from saying that. Hold on a second. I want to point something out. It says you. You shall not add to the word which the Lord commands or takes away. Not God. Well, then the response is the objection, whoa. But God is the same yesterday, today, forever. He doesn't change. And you're trying to say that he changed. Let me answer that objection. And listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to convey to you is one of the most important principles I could possibly convey to you in your study of the word. You get this principle down, it will preserve you from deception. You get this principle down, you will know truth. You will be performing responsible exegesis, and you will be helping others do the same. This principle is so vitally important, and it is this. When it comes to the word of the Lord, you will notice that the Lord, he includes certain provisions, he includes special clauses, as it were, right within the contract itself. And what do I mean by contract? I'm talking about his written word. I'm talking about what we call the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, the Torah, the Nevi'im, the Ketuvim. What Christians identify as the Old Testament. Scripture. It's called Scripture in the New Testament, right? This is God's contract. This is God's written word. And so these changes, such as we see in Hebrews 7:12 here, they're not produced out of thin air. These are not changes that come from the creativity of man's mind, but rather they're included by God himself in the original contract. And so for every single change the Lord was going to perform as you move from the old covenant into the new covenant, guess what? Every single change is accounted for, without exception. Mediator, that we were going to have a new mediator, you can read right within the Torah itself. It alludes that there would be a change. Right within the Torah itself, read Deuteronomy 18, that there would be another mediator. Priesthood, Psalm 110, Genesis 14. There was a precedent. God left himself a witness. He left himself a precedent so that the change could be justified. What about the new covenant? You'll notice when you're reading the Torah, it's not this big event that, oh, you're entering into a Brit Hadashah. It's a Brit Yashen. It's an old covenant. Actually, at the time, it's just called covenant. Nothing about a new covenant. See, but when you get to the prophets, what do you read? In Jeremiah 31, he's going to perform a new covenant. What is Ezekiel? Talks about a covenant, a Brit Shalom, a covenant of peace. See, the prophets came on the scene and they left. God left himself a witness. Understand that principle. Do not think that you're going to read the Torah apart from the prophets and you're going to come to God's conclusion. You're going to come to his intent. You will fail. In your quest to protect the Torah, do not turn into a Samaritan, where you become so limited in your understanding that you end up rejecting the very truth you think you're defending. And what do I mean by that statement? The Samaritans rejected all further revelation. They did not listen to Samuel the prophet. They refused him. They refused David the king. They refused Isaiah and Jeremiah, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, all of them. They're cast aside. You know why? Deuteronomy 4:2. You shall not add to this word nor take from it. That's why they don't worship in Yerushalayim. And I've said it so many times, the Samaritans will not worship because it's not until I get into 1 Kings, a book the Samaritans reject. That's a further revelation. No, that can't be because you cannot add to the word nor take from it. And so the Samaritans to this day, they worship and sacrifice on Mount Gerizim, the Mount of Blessing, which is in the Torah. See, that's all they're looking at. They're looking at the Torah without any influence from the prophets. Don't become a Samaritan.
Hey there, this is Mike at Corner Fringe Ministries. Thanks for watching our video. If you liked the video or it encouraged you, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the share. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Now, if you want to watch the rest of this video, hit the button here. And if you want to watch the rest of this series, you can check it out here. And don't forget, you can download the Corner Fringe Ministries app today on any of your Play stores. Thanks for joining us at Corner Fringe Ministries.